Calling all nerds. This is More Than Dice, the podcast where we dive deep into the realms of everything nerdy. Whether you're a nerd culture connoisseur, a tabletop titan, a miniature gaming marveler, or just someone who proudly embraces their inner geek, this is the podcast for you. And now here's your hosts, Gonzo, Nerd, and Mizzy.
And welcome to episode 307.
Think.
Yeah, we think. Of More Than Dice.
That's what the thing says.
Nerd is off for the night. She had to go somewhere and do some partying. So we invited Mr. Zeke on to talk all night long. Guys, today's episode we're going to be talking about games that we play that are not War Machine. While War Machine is pretty much our primary game, just like everybody else, we have other games we play, and we're going to talk about that and the reason why we play them. Mostly going to be Zeke's things, but before we do that, we got to get to the business. We want to thank Muse on Minis for hosting our podcast and putting it out for everybody. Make sure you check them out. They got a bunch of new products ready. We want to thank Cuttlefish Colors for supplying awesome paints for us to use. We also want to thank Turbo Dork for supplying awesome metallic paints, which I will be using for my Infinity models, which will come up in our next discussion. We want to thank Midnight Heroes, makers of chibi miniature games. They are now rebranding and changing things up, so we'll get some news from them pretty soon. We want to thank Creature Caster for hosting the channel and providing us with miniatures, paints, and all the other good stuff. Make sure you check them out, and Judgment. And make sure you check out their tribe on My Mini Factory, where you can get that's like 8 to 10 models a month plus a 5th edition module to go with it. So you'll have to check them out. So other than that, I know we have a big list of shout outs this week since we weren't here last week, and we're compiling from last week to this week for shout outs. There was a lot of celebrities that passed away. First one was, who was it?
Shelley Duvall.
Shelley Duvall. For me, remember, I mean, she was pretty popular with The Shining and, of course, Olive Oil in the Pi Pi movie, which that's, where I got, I knew her because I was too young to watch The Shining when that came out. But she also did a thing on a fantasy storytelling show in the early 80s too, which was very popular. And I believe she passed away from diabetes. Sucks. What was our next one, Mizzy?
Dr. Ruth Westheimer. She was a very famous sex therapist.
Oh yeah, you didn't know Dr. Ruth?
Love her. Queen, yes.
I remember that.
I remember when she was like extremely popular and everything, and the little old lady was like, yes, you got to use a condom. It was just doing everything. It was like
she did everything.
She told everybody, and she was hilarious. And she didn't hold back either. She was like, you want to do butt stuff? You got to do this.
Yep.
She did not hold back. Really good contribution for her life. Who's next?
Richard Simmons.
Richard Simmons. Yeah.
Yep.
I remember when I saw the news for that, I was like, no way. I was like,
I didn't believe it either, and then I was like, oh damn, too many people are talking about it.
Yep.
Yeah, he passed away. I don't know what he passed away from. They said natural causes last time I heard.
Yeah, it was natural.
Another person, he just wanted to get people to get healthy, and that was the whole thing.
Move, dance.
Yeah.
Very, very popular in the 80s. Was still, he was a cultural icon too.
80s, 90s, like I still remember his commercials and videos when I was much younger. I remember those.
I know that there was a biography coming out of him in movie form pretty soon, and Pauly Shore was going to play Richard Simmons.
Yes.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I wonder if they're going to do like some reshooting or adding at the end of that, because I know it was coming out.
That would definitely be interesting.
Yeah, and seeing that. Other than that,
You
next
got
one,
Shannon Doherty.
Shannon Doherty, 90210.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. For everybody remember, I know a lot of people are also what was it, Enchanted.
Yeah.
Yep. Enchanted, I would say.
Yeah, was the next thing. But I remember, I mean, she was. I think that's where that she really got her name, was that show. It was Beverly Hills 90210, because it was such a
Yes.
pop culture icon. And she passed away from cancer. Is what?
Fuck that shit.
Yeah. Fuck cancer.
Yeah.
So, and what was our next one?
Last one is Bob Newhart.
Oh yeah, motherfucker was 98 years old.
He lived a good life.
He lived a long life, 98 long, and I mean,
Yeah.
classic old school comedian. Did a lot of shows. The Bob Newhart show was super popular. My brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl. My other brother Daryl.
Yep.
So yeah, that was classic comedian. Living in 98 is a long time. So I mean, he lived a full life. Anybody else? That was like five people in 2 weeks.
That's who I got.
Okay.
Think you know anybody?
Nope. No, that's it. Nope. Yeah.
Think we got it.
All right, let's do the pertinent thing. The one thing that everybody likes to listen to and see and hear is, Zeke, what are you drinking tonight?
What do I have? Well, besides H2O, I haven't popped open any tequila, and I got a lot of drinks over there which I haven't opened yet. So right now, just H2O.
Okay. Mizzy?
I've got some snowberry peace tea that I'm drinking because it's delicious, and peace tea.
I'm doing the good old-fashioned H2O because I'm still recovering from my sickness that I'm trying to get over. So sticking to the hydration right now. So
Hydrate, don't dehydrate.
Yep. So, guys, as usual, as always, please make sure you take care of yourself. Please make sure that you are looking after each other. Not only your friends, but your neighbors, everybody else that's around you. We're going through some trying times. And it's time we start looking after each other a little bit more. As always, if you see something, say something. If you hear something, say something. If you can do something, do something. If you can't, find someone that will, because we've got to look after each other in these days. Cheers.
Cheers. Snowberry.
H2O.
Delicious.
So I'm going to go and switch over to the paint cam. And everything. Oh, need to turn on the camera.
Yes.
I'm going to be working on some Pan-Oceania, come on, camera, models, because, and not even Pan-Oceania, it's the military order models, because I've got them, and so I just need to put them together, and so I figured I would put them together since we're going to be talking about other games. And the reason why we're talking about this is, even though while we do play War Machine primarily, and that's our shit, there are a lot of other, not only good games, but games that we like to play. Yet we don't have to bring out huge amounts of armies or do wild and crazy things with. And so we wanted to talk about that. I know we talked about that a little bit as a team on the podcast, and then I was like, oh, Zeke has to do that because he's always wanting to talk about that stuff. So we're gonna invite Zeke on to talk about that.
Plus, I TO for a lot of it.
Correct. A lot of us. That's what I think is funny. Is a lot of us people that do this stuff. We do a lot of TOing also. So we always are trying to help each other out and do things. So let's start off. I mean, like right now, I'm going to be putting together some Infinity models. I am doing military order, and I don't get to play a lot of Infinity, but blah blah blah. So Zeke, let's start off with what games do you like to play, and we'll just go from there. What's another game you like to play?
Sure. So I love history. I have an uncle who's 102. He served in multiple wars, but I enjoy playing things that are relative to World War II. So Bolt Action is a game I definitely enjoy. I played Soviets. It's a very fun beer and pretzels kind of game. Nothing too technical, for a game. Biggest thing, pretty much just rolling a bunch of dice, seeing how you do. Every army kind of plays different. You're on a much bigger board, a lot more terrain heavy. You're trying to be a little more dioramic with it. If you're looking to redo D-Day, certain type of attacks based on history and stuff like that. You can definitely have a lot of fun with it. So I enjoy the historical aspect of Bolt Action, and that's why I enjoy playing it.
So I could never get into historical games, so I always like to hear what are good historical games. I remember at one point Bolt Action was like considered to be extremely expensive. Is it still an expensive game?
I don't know. So depending on what you're looking for it, because you can similar to like with Flames of War, you can choose what era of the war to play in, whether it's early, mid, late war, specific locations, stuff like that as well. So it just depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for a bit of everything, yeah, it's gonna cost you a pretty penny. For me, Soviets mainly late war is kind of like the main thing, mid late war. Altogether, I think it cost me, I think $200 at most for my full army, and
That's not
then
bad.
that's it.
No, seems pretty reasonable.
Yeah. But that's pretty much you getting one of the full starter boxes. You getting like an expansion on top of it, a couple tanks, a couple transports. That was pretty much it. I'm done.
Nice.
Okay. I don't play any historical games, so I always like to hear what people play, and I know that one's pretty popular.
Yeah, that Flames of War, Team Yankee, are your kind of like your bigger ones. What was it? Dust. I know Dust was one as well.
Yeah, it's defunct now, so nobody plays that
Correct.
really, hardly.
Yeah.
Rip.
Sad.
So, um, and do you like just playing just so you can like kind of like relive those events? Like, hey, I wonder what happened if we're
Yeah.
gonna play this
No.
this this game, and we're gonna see what happens if this would have happened.
Yeah, I mean, for me is that I love history. Enjoy different types of history, whether even there's different wars. Um, but it scratches that itch of mine, kind of just learning more about it. Usually when painting up those models, especially for people who are big into history, you're painting it to very accurate standards. Unlike for us on fantasy wargaming, we will paint stuff up to whatever we feel like.
Yeah.
Usually when you go into the historical, you're going with a specific mindset. If I'm going to play late war Germany in this specific area location, they wore these specific colors, so I'm going to paint my models in these specific colors to represent that, or based on whatever platoon or command troops that they were. You're sticking that for the historical, again, accuracy aspect.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And they get really, and a lot of them get really picky on that. Like, oh, that color button
Oh
is
yeah.
wrong.
Yep. And when I say very, very particular on things to be accurate, they are very particular on things to be accurate. I mean, like, don't get me wrong, you may have some people when you're playing a friendly game, it's not that, but like when you start getting into playing with bigger people, the more stuff. Because we just had a event in my store for the 80th anniversary for today, so they recreated a full table of storming of the beaches. We had everything all set up. Things were painted accurately, depicted accurately. We tried to measure things properly per size. How the attacks were and everything else. So yeah, but it was amazing, cool to show off. Got people interested in seeing it. And that's what you do it for.
I can definitely see the appeal of it, but I would not have the patience with myself to be historically accurate.
Yeah.
Because
and it's not for everyone.
But that's okay, As long as you enjoy it and you're having fun, that's great. Do it.
Yep, and that's the most important thing. Like you're there to, enjoy the historical lesson of it. You're we're all still pushing Little Miniature Men. We have fun with it. Hopefully we don't take it too seriously, but we have fun with what we enjoy and the lesson we have of it.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Mizzy, which one that you like playing?
If I just want to shoot things, BattleTech.
Old school BattleTech. I remember early BattleTech. Like Jesus.
Yeah. I am definitely more on the side of Alpha Strike because it's easier and I like simple. But it's really easy to grasp, and the rules are there. It's still got a little bit of tactical things that you got to deal with, but it's not too terrible. And stompy robots, right? So.
Yes, I mean that's also one. Of course, I play it too. And there's I don't want to say there's like an animosity between Alpha Strike and the normal players, but there is some between it. But you play whatever you like and whenever you want, and I like playing Alpha Strike for the simple fact that I can get a quick game in and not spend all day playing that one game.
Yeah.
Because the basic version, it could take freaking forever.
I don't think I have the attention span either.
No.
That's a thing.
And the Alpha Strike version is just quick and easy. Plus, painting the models up, you can get, you can actually do a quick force pretty easily with contrast paint type thing. But I agree with you.
Oh yeah.
And
it's pretty easy to paint.
Oh yeah. I mean, you can get super detailed, but if you wanted to, but if you don't,
you don't have to.
Correct. Yeah. You don't have to do it, but I like it. It's a lot of fun, and it's easily accessible. You can get the models pretty quickly. I mean, but there are people just like in the setting that are like, what clan is that? I don't recognize that color scheme. And I'm like, this is my own clan. They're the I don't give a shit color scheme.
Yep.
Clan Gonzo.
And you
Clan
can
chicken and waffles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Type thing. It's interesting that sometimes, whenever we got into it, and we play it because thanks to the guys that run the channels and all the other stuff, the BattleTech stuff, they choose, hey, we're going to be playing in this era, so you can only get models from this era type thing. I'm like, okay, cool, no problem. And it makes it easy to, choose, but then you still got a shit ton of things to choose. I mean, it's incredible how much you can choose.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, it's just, I'm like, there's too much to choose from. So, and that can get really intense, and like that's just too much for me to deal with. I'm just taking basic junk.
That's fair.
Give me my little mechs and their little jump pack dudes. Shenanigans. Here for it.
Shenanigans.
So Zeke, what's one of them that you like to? What's another one?
I mean, I wish they would make a Gundam miniature game, but that's a prayer and a miracle. I know we'll never happen. Like, I'm not gonna lie, if that was ever made, and I mean like a good quality one, I'd be throwing so much money at it. It's not even funny. So outside of that, I know we talked about Infinity. We just
started. We didn't really talk about it, but
yeah,
Infinity is one we can talk about because, I mean, I like Infinity, and don't get me wrong, I like Infinity, but that's a game that it's kind of hard to play in a casual type thing.
So, to a degree, and this definitely comes down to the players where if it's fun or not. So I love Infinity for opposite reasons for both action and War Machine. A little less on the War Machine side, but I enjoy one. I love the models. Absolutely love the model.
Yep.
And for Infinity, it's less about the lore. Like, the lore matters to a degree. It was nice to read it, but there's like no memorable people I can definitely tell you about X, Y, and Z. No big major stories. But I love the very technical gameplay. of what it offers. Like to play the game, you don't you can go with like there's a very like small subset of the rules to do the basics of the game. Absolutely. To actually learn the game, I mean you're going through like a PhD at minimum. Maybe a master's, but like you're definitely to truly know the game, you're going to like a master's PhD level. I mean it's easier than N3 was, I will say that. So at this point masters. N3 was a PhD because hacking was like a whole nother subset of craziness. But yeah, the game is fantastic. If anyone here has played or know of the game called XCOM, you are already on your way to understanding how the game works.
Yeah.
So, how would you sell Infinity to someone who's completely new to it?
If you enjoy a game where the terrain fully matters. Terrain is one of the most gorgeous, absolute things that you can play in any type of fantasy/sci-fi setting. It is there, and I don't mean like here's a couple pieces of terrain on a table. No, here's a full living board, just engrossed in terrain. Number one. Number two, every turn something can and or will happen, both from you or your opponent be able to make responses to what's happening on the board. So no matter what, you are never bored because you are always watching true line of sight and seeing can you make responses to your opponent on what's happening on the table.
Yeah.
So no matter what, always be ready.
Was
Like it.
reactive orders, I think, ROs or whatever, AROs.
AROs. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, because you could move across the board, and I'm like, I'm going to shoot you as you move across.
And the problem is that you may never use that model because there might be an invisible ninja who's just like surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yep. All right, motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's one of the unique things about this is even though it's I'm going with all my models, you can do something on my turn.
Oh, and like not just one or two things. I can do like a bunch of things depending on
Yeah.
the area, the weapons I'm using, the loadouts, my special skills. And let's not even talk about special skills on, they're truncated within truncation.
Yep.
And there's so much there. And again, like there's a lot of rules to this game. On your special abilities and how they can interact with other special abilities and timing and so on and so forth. But if you love very good, strong chess puzzles. And it's not just basic chess either. I look at War Machine more like basic chess than anything. But if you want something that take it to the next level, Infinity is 100% that game for that. And again, it's not an army style game, so you don't need a lot of models. Like a good 10 to 15 models at most, usually for most people. But there's a lot you can do on the table with those 10 to 15 models.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what drew me into the interest of Infinity is the terrain, because it gorgeous tables.
Yeah, I take pictures of every table at every convention I'm at because they're always amazing. Like I want to play on those tables with other games, and I know I can't.
There's one in particular at Adepticon with the lights everywhere that I'm just like, oh my god, this is gorgeous.
There was one at Adepticon years ago where they actually had a full running train through two tables.
Oh.
It was fucking amazing. And I drooled over that table for like a half an hour.
Fair.
So much. So
beautiful
much.
Terrain makes a difference, man.
Yeah, but like the cool part was like it was a full neon table, so the entire table also glue in black light. And I'm like, I know it's like stuff like that is what sells me so hard. I'm like, this table's great. It looks fantastic. You guys put some extra little love and care and attention to it, but you gave this extra cool flip on it too. Showing like a grungy, dark blacklit side, kind of like Batman Beyond and stuff. I'm like, yes.
I love it. I'm here for it. And then nuns with guns too.
Oh yeah, you chose the nuns with guns.
Yeah, dude.
I do hear that people nuns with guns. Yes, that is a legitimate thing. You can play with like Animorph people. Again, you can play with the superpower of America, which is Pan-Oceania, the military. But playing Eugene, the Asian side of things. But you have Hawk Islam. You have the AI, which coming in, which is playing on some Greek heroes such as Achilles and the rest of them. Screw Achilles. Um, and there's just so many awesome things to play in this game. And hey, you guys like motorcycles? You can play with motorcycles on top of motorcycles.
I have
Fantastic.
2 in my army. I have 2 bikes in my army.
I have seen a full using motorcycle list, and I hated it, and it was like, this is awesome, but God, I can't hit anything. Also, you like playing with giant robots. You can play with what we call tags in this world, and yeah, you can. It's very awesome. So I mean, there's so many ways to play it, so many options, absolutely. And again, and not just one model has, I walk and I shoot. No, I have a good 15 to 20 things, in all honesty, that I can probably do on each of my activations, depending on how I want to play it.
Yeah, the reactive order thing is actually really, really interesting to make, and it keeps you going and playing without compromising the game. Best way to put it.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah, there's definitely a very, very, very high skill ceiling with this game, and it's obvious when there's a difference between it. But don't let that despair you. If you check out the game, the models look awesome, tables look awesome. Literally look up Adepticon terrain tables, or any of major event tables. Give it a try. I will say, paying for the tables are a bit expensive. No denying that.
Yeah.
Getting into the game is pretty easy, but the tables are where the real money is of the game. But once you do it, though, you will not be disappointed.
What's another one?
Oh, for me, well, I have a bad itch of Macross. Well, if anyone remembers this Kickstarter from years ago, there was a Macross miniature game put out by Palladium Books.
You mean Robotech?
Well, let's talk about the original name, and then then Robotech here in the States. Yes. But no, they put out a very nice miniature game. The game was great until the company lost their license and just killed everything. But that was a whole other thing. But no, I definitely enjoyed the game. It's definitely very interesting. It is not a very widely known game, so probably many people who are listening to this will have no clue what I'm talking about. But another company kind of made miniatures similar of transforming models. Can't remember what the name of the company is, but it scratched a nice little itch of something I enjoyed watching when I was a kid. But for other games playing, I mentioned Conquest. Conquest is a rank and file game by Palladium.
Not Palladium.
Sorry, not Palladium. Parabellum.
Parabellum.
Yeah. Parapella. It's all close. It's all close enough.
It's all Pellas.
But as I mentioned before, it's a rank and file game. About 10 different factions. Varying play styles. Yeah. I think I showcased probably some of it probably when they first came out with all the stuff that they gave us for kids.
Oh my god, yes. They gave us a mountain of stuff. Very
It's like pallets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they gave us pallets and stuff to give away to people, and quite a bit. And it is a rank and file game, and you remove people type stuff, and it definitely scratched a lot of itch for people because there was, Age of Sigmar kicked off, and there was no more rank and flank, and so it kind of, got everybody into that.
People, yeah, push people in another direction. And for them, you don't need a lot for the game, in all honesty. Depending on how heavy into, kind of like playing any type of army-based game, you can either go really heavy into a lot of models, or you can go smaller into some bigger models. However you want to go about it. It is pretty similar to getting into most of your army-style games, such as War Machine, Age of Sigmar, stuff like that, where you are putting a little bit into the game to kind of get everything you kind of want out of it. But once you get your foot set in, you're pretty good. I wouldn't say it's a major investment. The starter boxes are actually pretty good for giving you a good quality of stuff that you will use, and they're still expanding. So Parabellum again has only been here for 4 or 5 years for this game, I believe, at this point, maybe even less. Um, but no, so I mean they have tons of room to grow.
And they have a ton of models too. I mean, there is a lot of factions. You got the Wadroon, which are orcs with dinosaurs.
Dinos.
Yep.
You got the Spires, which are like undead elves a little bit in a way.
Yep.
Are those like the alien dudes that you play?
Yeah, they're aliens. They're technically aliens, but everybody kind of says best way to describe them is you know an elven type faction. And then you've got
Oh, you got 100 Kingdoms, which are your knights on.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you love playing cavalry. 100 Kingdoms all day. um, practically everyone is on horses.
Yep.
Spires, Dwagum, dwarves, the Nords. So if you love playing exactly that Nordic people, you got Nords. You mentioned what Druin already. Old Dominions, city states. And then the newest one is Sorcerer Kings.
I haven't heard about that one yet.
No, you've seen some of the models.
Did I?
I think it's like the Jin type of models.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I'm just
where they're
spacey.
wielding the elements.
That's right. Yeah. Okay. I'm caught up now. Yeah.
Yeah, we got you. We got you. Definitely another really fun game to go check out. If you haven't already. What other games we have? Star Wars.
Which one?
Well, Mizzy mentioned about your Shatterpoint. How are you enjoying? Well, have you tried out Shatterpoint? I know you're building models.
So
what are your thoughts on Shatterpoint?
I like it. It's really easy to get to. You've got your cards in front of you. You got your set amount of stuff that you can do, and I like how the scenarios change every round. So it's not just one thing that you're after the entire time, and you get that variety.
Yeah, my biggest thing for it and my mindset when going into it, like I researched kind of my 2 boxes to put together, and I was done. Like, I didn't care if the supports weren't the greatest or most amazing, as long as thematically I felt good with the combo I was playing with. And that's pretty much all I was looking for. But again, I only need 6-ish models, 2 boxes worth put together, and you're done. Like, if that's all you want to play, boom, you find the 2 things. And there's some combos that are pretty obvious together. If right now, because I know we got Chewie and Han and other stuff like that. So you want to play with, that timeline of that time stuff put together, boom, you can. Will it be the best? Couldn't tell you. I'm not well versed in the power of the boxes, but I went with what was interesting to me, thematic to me, what I researched, kind of what sounded fun, and then just put them together. That was it.
What was interesting is this last time at Adepticon, we got some free Shatterpoint boxes, and I got the Darth Vader one, and I was like, oh yeah, where's the other Sith one? I'll play it if I can get the other Sith one. And so, because I wanted to play, the thematic theme is, I just wanted to play Sith. I wanted to play Darth Vader. If I could find a way to get rid of my stormtroopers and add more Sith, I would find more stormtroopers and add more Sith.
Yep.
But I can't. So there's not like something else I could put in there to do it, because I'm like, I want to play a full force using, lightsaber wielding, ass kickery group of people to go do this.
Yeah, I just want to fuck around and find out.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, you got the 5th brother, 4th sister.
Yeah, I got that one.
And other stuff. I mean, they all can't go together. But again, it scratches the itch. But again, I don't need to buy much. I just bought the boxes, and again, that was super cheap, and that was it. And again, it doesn't have to be amazing. I just wanted it for that. That's it.
Yeah, that was we've played a couple of games, and we've done our little story talk about it. I mean, to me, it is It's a quick and easy game. I like more terrain than what most people use because I was looking at some of the uh, convention setups that they use, and the convention setups are a lot less terrain than what Mizzy and I have used.
Yeah,
And
they feel a bit sparse.
yeah,
I will
Yeah.
definitely say that.
and so we went with doing a little bit more uh, terrain heavy and more thematic and whatever, which is no big deal. No, you do what you want with your tables,
Oh
type
yeah, no,
thing. And
absolutely.
so we've just we went with that, and I mean I like it. It's a fun. It's not a hard game. It's not difficult at all. It's got its quirks and different things that
Yeah.
you can do, and it's also an alternating activation, which is good in my opinion.
No,
I think doing
yeah, and I
alternate
agree.
activation is a really good thing right now. So
Yeah.
Yep.
And
But go ahead, Izzy.
I was gonna say it also helps that you can't necessarily plan out your alternating activations because you have your cards that you draw.
Yep.
Now, yes, you do have your reserve over here, but that's only for one card, and then you have to play it the next turn, right? Yeah, I'm remembering that right. Yeah.
yeah.
Um. So it still gives you a little bit of guessing game, but also like okay, if this happens, I can do this, but if not, then you know it makes you think.
Oh yeah, and as all games shouldn't be just being easy, cut and
Yeah.
dry. While that is simple to do, you want to give some type of thought behind the decisions you make. Make it mean something. Absolutely. Um, I mean, outside that, for other games, well, since you mentioned alternating activations ish, it is by PP. I still enjoy playing some Warcaster. I know we got an event this upcoming Saturday, and I don't know if do you guys even build much of Warcaster or.
I haven't seen Warcaster being done or anything around anybody in a long time. I have two factions, and I can field two armies, full two complete armies, but it's just not being played,
Yeah.
which kind of sucks
I mean,
because it's a really good game.
it is. It's a really nice game. We have a decent showing for my area. We got about a good 8 to 12 players.
That's not bad. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we push a lot for it. And again, the game is a lot of fun. Obviously, the timing of release was bad. Middle of COVID.
Yeah.
Practically really like beginning ish of it. But there's nothing you can do once you have it set up in for Kickstarter. You're locked in. Like you can't change it.
Yeah.
So it's it's you
It's
couldn't foresee that.
unfortunate circumstances.
Yeah, and I mean, no one could foresee it. The problem is that once COVID was essentially to a degree over and everyone was fully out and doing everything, it by that point fell to the wayside and the forgotten love child.
Yes.
Yeah, which is the problem.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. What else we're doing here? Star Wars Legion. I know that one's getting a lot more traction, especially since well, Star Wars Legion and MCP now that Atomic Mass just did their mini extravaganza. They talked about a lot of stuff that's up and coming. Star Wars Legion is looking pretty decent. Again, Star Wars Legion is another army style game set in, of course, the universe of Star Wars.
What?
I could not have imagined at all.
What?
Oh my
What?
god.
You make it sound like it's in the name. Come on now. But again, unlike Shatterpoint where you have 6 models, here again you're playing an army style game where you're picking a faction. Right now we have 5. Empire, Rebels. We got
Separatists?
clones. Separatists is newer. We got the clones, and then we got I won't say rebels, but oh sorry, got droids, and then we got clones separately. So
So how would you compare the two, Shatterpoint to Legion?
way completely different games. It's almost comparing like MCP or Infinity to 40K Age of Sigmar, two huge things. Because again, here I have 6 models, alternate animations for Shadowpoint, where Star Wars Legion I have a full armada of models. However, we are bouncing between some of our activations because nothing's relatively consistent to a degree. But you have, you're sticking to your theme. There's tons of cool stuff you can do based on your commander of your team, or, Palpatine, Darth Vader, Krennic, tons of options. Or if you like playing Rex, leading the clones with Ahsoka, young Anakin. There's tons of awesome options. Or you enjoy General Grievous running the droid army.
Yeah, I did play that at one point, and it started off, and we were all there was a few people that played it, and then it just died.
Miniatures, I think miniature games in general are weird dime a dozen where things can be amazing for like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and then after that you're down from 10 people to 2. Because life happens, people get pulled in other directions, building models, trying to paint models, all these other things, and people kind of just lose interest. Or people are just playing so many games that you're just trying to bounce between them all. That's me.
Time management. That's the thing.
Lie. You act like I put that on my resume or something. Am I good at this?
Time management skills.
As I look at all my unbuilt models and unpainted models, yeah, about that.
They don't need to know.
They don't need to know. Not the hobby side. Not the hobby side.
We all have our glorious gray pile of potential. It's okay.
Oh, let's see. Hold on. What was my last count? Oh, let's see. Last count. All right. Last count of gray models of shame, including all of the miniature games, board games, and everything else. I am at 6,485 models.
Sir! Wow.
Yes.
It's a lot of shit.
Like you've been doing this for a long time.
No comment. No comment. No comment. I don't have almost like too many models of War Machine. Now AOS, now 40K, now Shatterpoint, now Stormward Legion, now MCP, now Conquest. What else am I missing? Judgment.
Yeah. Tell us
Cross.
about Judgment.
Beautiful goddamn models. I just don't play. I did. So like the first edition of the game, I played it. It was kind of more of an open field, similar to just doing measurements. Now it's more hex based, which is actually kind of nice. I actually, there's a lot of mixed feelings on it, but I was like, hey, I don't have to think about it anymore. Cool. It's just hexes. Fantastic.
I can count hexes. Let's go.
Right. But the main thing I loved it for, the models were gorgeous. I wanted to paint all the models. They're not cheap, mind you. They are creature caster models. So if you know what that is, you already know how much you're coming out of pocket.
But they're beautiful.
They are. And this is also coming from the person who owns every single Kingdom Death miniature.
Oh my god.
Now you understand where my numbers are coming from.
Yeah.
So yes, I have a problem. Okay. So
No jokes.
but no.
Have you played any of the new edition yet?
I have gotten, I think, with my group, about 5 sessions. We are talking about Kingdom Death, correct?
No. Judgment.
Yes. I got about 4 to 5 games in. So, same.
Yeah, same thing about Mizzy and I. We've got about 4 or 5 games in, and we like it. I mean, one, you're only playing with 7 models. That's all you have to get. Are you only going to buy 7 models? Most likely not. But if you want to limit yourself, yes, you can do just 7 models.
Yes, absolutely. However, if you are a painter, go out and paint these models.
You want all of them.
Yes, you do.
So
No denying that. There are a very, very beautiful palette of models to choose from, to paint of all different types of styles, aka like grotesque, horror, orc, human. Like there's tons of very beautiful, detailed models.
well, I'm a Minotaur person. Give me the
That-
Minotaurs.
that's fine too.
Yes.
I'm a demon person.
Yeah, we know. Fuck your demons.
When I started and I was like, I'm gonna, because I had the original models, the big 75 millimeter ones,
Yep, so do I.
and I got rid of those, and I was like, I'll buy the new ones, and I'm like, I want to figure out what faction I want to play, and I'm like, wait a minute, they're doing all demon armies whenever they rebooted it technically, and I'm like, yep, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the demon army,
Yeah.
and so I did the demons. Hey, Cookie, I am building a bike. I am building one of my Infinity bikes.
Woo. Bye.
How's your mom, Cookie? Hope she's good.
But yeah, I mean, there's a plethora of miniature games out there, and honestly, like I wouldn't say the market's flooded. I mean, like I know there's like Ravage Star. I know that was another one big one that was a quote unquote 40K killer that was put out. Um,
Which our good friend War Budgies is doing a little bit with that, by the way.
oh, okay.
I don't know
Yeah.
exactly, but I know that he got some of the models and he put together some stuff. So
Okay, yeah, because I know we got that. I know there's a Halo miniature game coming out soon as well. We got Warcrow coming out here at Gen Con.
which
Um,
we are Warcrow fans over here,
yes,
Mizzy and I.
Yeah.
I've actually played a couple of games of it, and we really like it. It's done really well. We like everything.
I like the magic system.
yes.
I like the option to push yourself to the brink of death in order to do something really fucking cool.
Go even beyond. Yes.
Oh yeah, so in one of our first games, I pushed my spellcaster so much that I killed myself. Yeah.
Look,
Makes for a good story, my
if you're
dude.
going to go out with a bang, you go out with a bang. That's
You-
how you do that.
You go out exploding your own head. It's what
Yes.
you do.
Not a double KO. It's a draw, right? Right? That's how this
Yeah.
works. That seems good.
You do the smash, and then you spellcast and blow your own head off. It's fine.
Yeah.
Which is
mean-
interesting is they did some recent videos on how to play Warcrow, and they talked about the spellcasting system. And one of the guys that was reporting on it, he was like, "Oh, when you get to this level, you automatically cause fear and frighten and all this stuff. Your character's like this really spooky beast." He's like, "I'm going to get to that as soon as I can and just walk around the battlefield." And I'm like, and they're like, "That's a perfectly good tactic."
Yep.
Uh-huh.
I can fireball, I will fireball. Period.
Yes.
So
I have the option. I'm gonna do it.
Yep, and I'll take it every time.
So I mean, we are eagerly waiting for our models and the stuff because Mizzy and I were talking about it, and we like it's played on a 3x3, which is really good.
I can play it on my kitchen table.
Correct. It doesn't require a lot of terrain, but the more terrain, the better. And I've already 3D printed enough terrain, so we don't have to worry about that. And the 2-player battle box is actually coming with terrain.
Yep.
Which is even cooler.
More terrain.
It's always a good thing.
Yep.
Yes.
So I thought that was. I mean, we so far have liked the game. We've played it a couple of times. We've got our factions. Even though I don't know what the elf faction is going to be, I definitely am going to be playing the elf faction because I like my elves. Fast as fuck boys that move around and do a lot of shenanigans. Yes, I am there for it.
Elves can die in a fire.
Elves can get their face smashed in.
Give me dwarves all day.
Yeah,
Hey, hear me out, Zeke. Hear me out. Works.
Orcs are number 2, but dwarves are number 1. That's all that matters.
I'll give you that.
Yeah, I'm
no matter
definitely
what, they're
looking
gonna be
forward. Definitely looking forward to Worko. And like I said, it's only, it's coming out at Gen Con, so there's going to be some early pre-release stuff. And then, you got the two-player battle box that's coming out, which is the Hegemony and Orcs.
Yep.
The
Uh,
Northern Tribes, yes.
Northern Tribes. And with the bear and then the rule book. I know that they did say that they are gonna have a tournament packet just like Infinity. Um, they just haven't said what it is and what it's gonna be, so we have to wait and find out. But they're gonna be pushing a lot of good narrative story play more than anything they said, which is
Yeah, I
good.
think that's, yeah, I
Yes.
think they shouldn't even have to worry about a tournament packet until like 6 months in.
Or
Like,
more,
let's get the
more
game out there.
factions. Yeah, and more
Yeah, let's get
factions
the
are
game
out.
out there. Let's get people playing the game. All those things.
Yeah.
I mean, because you could have, a tournament with just, the narrative campaign, things in there, and you
Yeah,
could just, whoever wins, blah 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 type thing.
yeah, just modify it. Like
Yeah, you
we
could.
can we can make that happen.
Yeah, all of us can make that happen. But they said that there will be an official tournament packet,
Sure.
so that's on the table, which is fine because I mean, there's just plenty of things that need to go through. But I did like so they did release on one of the videos they released that the demon faction, um, the scions of yeah, they actually like getting tinge and they get benefits from getting tinge on their models.
Ooh.
So I thought that was an interesting little tidbit that Hubei gave us. So
Nice.
Okay.
we'll have to see. We will have to see what's going on with that. But
Yes.
I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's only like 10 to 12 or 12, 15 to 12 models, I think is what they said.
That
Yeah.
sounds right.
Or 15 to 20, something like that models. So I mean, it's a smaller one, but it's not a, you know, a a break your bank type army, which is good because we Poe in this world now.
The economy is
Hey,
trash.
So
after what 5 months and 487 applications, I've got one phone call.
yeah,
Oof.
I'm with
That's
you.
rough, buddy.
I'm with you. I've been there, done that, and have all the crap to go with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I mean, I mean, small armies, small model count, small tables is the way to go now, I think.
Yeah, easy to transport, easy to take where you need to. Also, that's also one big thing too. Like I tell people, like that's probably another negative for my only other kind of real negative for Infinity is where you have these lovely tables, but transporting them is a bitch.
And what's really good about what's really good about the Infinity community is they all work together to get those tables together. The
Oh
entire
yeah,
group
no,
of
they
people all
absolutely do.
go like, "Hey, I've got a table, I can bring it. I've got a table, I can bring it," and
Yep.
so on and so forth. And they can, they all work together to make sure that they have a good event
Yep.
because it is 100% a pain
That
in
is,
the butt.
that's a really big
Absolutely.
community. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's it's a lot of terrain, and usually all the tables are really beautiful too. So it's not like you're getting shitty terrain,
Oh
but
no,
they
absolutely.
they all work together to get together and make those tables great.
Mm-hmm.
And since it's a sci-fi one, a lot of people like to do cyberpunk type stuff, and so it gets there pretty quickly. It can be looking really
Yep.
neat. I know that what was it? Acid Terrain or Acid House is doing a cardboard version.
They
They
did. Yeah.
and it
We
sold out pretty well, and then a lot of people said it was really good. So they're doing another one. So I think I might jump into that one so I could try to get an Infinity table.
yeah we use a little bit for Warcaster.
Uh huh.
Um, but I know I picked up a bunch of like micro studio art
Yep.
for Infinity, especially their new painted ones, which are actually really nice.
It's really expensive.
They are, but once you get them on the table, you smile.
Oh yeah.
You smile. You're like, I don't have to paint this. Thank you, God.
I was just talking about that, how we don't have to paint terrain this year.
Yep. It's like, and jackpot.
Yeah, there's a lot of things. Any other games that we can think of? Because we're almost time for media section.
What other
my
game?
stash?
I think
You know, listed. I think that's all the games. I mean, I vaguely mentioned 40K and AOS. Those are also games I do play from time to time.
Yeah, I don't play Age of Sigmar. I do have a 40K. I do have two 40K armies, and I'm trying to get rid of one of them.
So, 40K for me, and I think Gonzo too, is it's not so much we want to play 40K, we just want to blow stuff up. And so we just kind of do our own thing with it.
Sure. Like my thing was mainly I got into it for when I was working at my local game store, helping them out. And again, the games are fine. They're not my first thing I'm going to reach for. Absolutely not. Don't get me wrong. But I don't hate the games. I understand why they have the following they do.
Yeah.
Been a part of the community and the lore for years upon years. So I understand the appeal for the game. I mean, like I won't hate on the game for that. GW makes their decisions. Other companies make their decisions on some weird stuff. But like I try to go out of my way. Like for AOS, like I'm playing the Karagon Overlords again. My dwarves, but I'm in big ass frigates and spaceships. Well, steampunk ships. So yes, like that super scratches my itch. And then for 40K, I play Thousand Suns because praise the sun. But also it's something different than I normally play. I play with a bunch of psychers, so go for it.
I got a few things built. What time are we at? Oh, it is time for media section. I'm gonna take these off and flip this around. Whee!
I got 2 models and a base done. Because distract.
Hey.
Distraction.
Good distraction. Good company.
Move my monitor around. So, I mean, there's a lot of different games that we can play and a lot of different things. I mean, you got to find one that scratches the itch for certain reasons. Exactly, Shatterpoint. Shatterpoint is quick and easy. Don't have to do much with it. We're good to go. We can get it. Infinity. Well, we want to do some sci-fi shit and have very few models. Type thing. Mech Warrior. Small table size. Quick plastic miniatures. You ain't got to do much to them. They're already glued onto the base and everything. You just, quick paint job. Bob's your uncle. Type thing.
Yep. I have pretty much 3 main things for any game I tell anybody. First, find aesthetics that fit you. Like find something that is your calling, both visually, mechanically, whatever the case may be. Like if that's what draws me to it, whether or not visually or me hearing like the background and the story of it, sure, absolutely go for that. Number 2,
to your soul.
Yep. Number 2, the gameplay. And this does revolve around a few different things. Big of a mat, how much terrain I need to spend in. Financially is worth me getting into. But that's more like a number 3 for me. But just does the game sound enjoyable for me playing the game? Is it something that's quick, something that's long, very technical? Looking at Infinity, or something something more dumbed down and simple. Number 3, being financial. How much do I have to invest in this game, or do I need to invest to at least get to the basic gameplay standpoint?
Correct.
And then number 4 is important. Number I'm gonna say honorable mention, but something that is very important: community. If there's how strong the community is, how fun the community is, friends people you kind of have a connection with, whatever the case may be. Because if you're having fun with those people and those are people you want to play with, then absolutely go do it. But if the community is not the greatest, and people will know, ask around, you can find out. If it doesn't sound like the right community, but also investigate, because some people say things which isn't always true, but you know take a step in, talk to people, and you can find out.
All right, media section time. I know Zeke said he had like 17 things to talk about, which is cool. I wanted to talk about something. I'll go and start it off. And I binged the entire season at once because they're only like 23 to 30 minutes long, and the new season of Hit Monkey came out. If we
Oh yeah.
don't know, Hit Monkey is a story about a monkey that becomes a hitman, and he has a sidekick that's a ghost that used to be a hitman, and he died. It is a Marvel comic that got turned into a cartoon. Um, it is bloody, it is gory, it is gross, it is no hold bar, Deadpool style type comedy and gore. And it's glorious. it is
Nice.
it is a lot of fun. Of course, Monkey doesn't say a single line, but the guy can understand Monkey the entire time because he speaks Monkey, the ghost. Um, and last season was pretty good. This season was the same way. It was still the same thing that goes on. It was really fun. It was very enjoyable. Good laugh. Good animation. Plenty of gore. The one-liners and stuff are just great. Um, it's on Hulu, so if you have Disney Plus, you can watch it. No problem. A very adult theme, very adult subject matter, very adult, animation. Um, but it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. Like I said, the episode only like 23 minutes or whatever, so it's an easy binge, best thing to say, type thing. But it was definitely fun. I enjoyed the hell out of it. If you watch season one, you'll enjoy season two. I'm sure we'll get a season three because it not didn't really leave it on a cliffhanger. You knew it was going to happen, but it'll be interesting to see. So overall, I give it half a space herpy. There's kind of a little bit of stuff in there. I was like, but nothing that made me go, oh shit. But definitely a good fun show, but very adult. Zeke.
Um, while working on stuff, I actually went back and revisited Archer,
Uh,
um, from the original season one playing through till now. Um, Archer's a lot of fun. Their take on a very spoofy James Bond bad at it situation with his crew. A lot of great one-liners, a lot of raunchy stuff. Great laughs to have. There's definitely a lot of memorable characters, memorable lines. Um, the show is a lot of fun, but there definitely are some seasons that don't hit as well. Like it starts off pretty strong in like the early seasons, and a couple of seasons in the middle are kind of falls off, and it has ups and downs. I think it's season 10, 11 now, if I remember correctly. But it's definitely for me an enjoyable watch. Um, for my rating, I would definitely give it a one, um, maybe even 1.5, depending on where in the seasons you are. There's definitely some strong points, and there's definitely some low points in there, but it's definitely a good watch.
Mizzy.
Um, let's go with the Dragon Prince trailer that I
Oh,
am all kinds of hyped up about.
so yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the second to last season, I believe, of Dragon Prince that is coming out.
Oh,
Yes.
that hurts.
Yeah,
Yes.
second to
I
last
know.
season.
I know all good stories have to come to an end, but damn it, it's gonna hurt when it does.
Yep.
Dragon Prince is done by I think Windstorm Studios, or I can't remember who, or Wonderstorm, I think is what it is. It's
That's basic
basically,
details. I gotta Google.
yeah, you can Google it. This is a story about it's a fantasy world, and there's dragons in it and elves and all these different races, and about a couple of humans getting mixed up in a big drama and such.
It is
And
beautiful.
I will say though, like it wasn't as much dragon as I thought for a dragon prince for the name. In all
Until these
honesty,
last few seasons, they kind of rolled into it, and there was a baby
yeah,
dragon, and now it's getting bigger. But
right.
um, it very much fits into the Avatar Last Airbender type theme of young
So,
kids changing the world, type attitude, type stuff. The new season, it looks like it's getting darker and more. I wouldn't say adult, but it's definitely getting darker.
oh yeah, it went from like it's bright out to like it's beyond dusk at this point.
Yeah, and it's getting to be where there's been a lot of evil going on in this world and a lot of things going happening. So it's been really, really. I'm really interested to see how it happens and what happens because it's supposed to be coming out like next week, I think, or something.
Yeah, it's soon. It's very soon.
Yeah, and of course I'll binge that. But there's a lot of interesting
Mhm.
things in this, where looks like some new secret societies are starting up in the trailer. So
Yeah, it looks good. Looks really good.
yeah,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so but it's been really I've been enjoying it. So what do you think,
And
Mizzy?
I'm not going to wait several months after it comes out to watch it.
What?
I might actually listen to someone when they say watch it.
Watch it.
Yeah. So what it was is I'd actually I watch it as it comes out, of course, and I says you need to watch this because this is a really good season and you're going to enjoy the shit out of it. And of course she didn't, and she just watched it recently.
Yeah.
And
I had to get outside peer pressure to watch it.
Watch it. Poke, 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 poke.
Yes. So it is a goal of mine to not be a procrastinator, as horrible as I am.
Yeah, about
I'll
that.
get there.
yeah, so I mean that was interesting going on. One thing I do want to talk about, we got that trailer coming out, but there was a cancellation this week that kind of like people got kind of pissed off at, and they spent a lot of money to make it, and it lasted 2 seasons,
Me Halo?
and Halo got canceled.
Because it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
Meh.
And they were like, we didn't really have much source material to go off. I'm like, let me look at every single book that's currently in my basement where there's fantastic source material for you to motherfucking go off of.
Yeah,
Just saying.
it wasn't great. It was okay, but it wasn't great. Can't hear you.
I was like, it's like I watched like the first 3 episodes and I couldn't watch anymore. Like I was like, you guys
Meh.
have source material. You have, it's one of the things where the whole Star Wars thing is like there's are infinite amount of books that are easily greatly acclaimed books that you guys can pull source material off of for us to enjoy on the big screen. All of the side TV shows are fantastic. Um, but yet for some reason you guys ignore them, and I don't get it. Like there's our favorite black guy, Sergeant Johnson, has an entire book on himself, and it's a fantastic read, and you just ignored it again. Like I'm done.
Yeah, and I'm sure also it was pretty expensive to make too because sets, clothing,
Sure,
special effects, all that was
but
probably
but again, if you're gonna put all this money into it, go off of the source material because you already know what we love and what we enjoy.
yeah.
Like you guys already know this. Everyone enjoyed the first X amount of Halos plus Reach. Hey, the Fall of Reach is a fantastic story. Like the whole book behind it is one of the biggest ones out there. Man, that's a great start to go off of because that's pretty much a giant prequel to everything else. Yes.
So before we go into any more reviews, I also wanted to say the new Captain America trailer came out. Brave New World.
I don't know how I
that
feel
one
yet. I don't know how I feel yet. I'm 50-50 on it. Us getting Hulk was yay and nay on who it is. I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's the Red Hulk, by the way. We're getting the Red Hulk in.
yeah, we're
If
getting
you don't
Red
know, if
Hulk,
you haven't seen the trailer at the very end, we get Red Hulk. Um,
who's Harrison Ford.
yeah, which is we're this movie has been plagued by problems for a long time. It had script rewrite after script rewrite after reshoots
Yeah,
after
like what?
reshoots.
I mean, like, I think we had 4 script rewrites, like 3 different producers. Like, it was just a giant mess because almost like no one wanted to touch it.
Yeah,
Dang.
I-
yeah. It does give me like Winter Soldier type vibes. It's not like about this you know huge thing like the Infinity Gauntlet type stuff, and I'm okay with that. But I'm like you. I'm gonna wait and see.
yeah, there's just the actors in it are great.
Yeah,
Like this, there was a few cameos I wasn't expecting to see. Not like superheroes, but like actors playing in the movie. But I'm
correct.
like, specifically Harrison Ford. I was like, why is Harrison Ford here? This is a really odd decision. Um, but outside of that, I was like, this isn't hyping me up, but I'm not angry at it. So
Yeah,
I need more info.
yeah.
Gotcha.
I need to see a little bit more trailers or give me a little bit more because I know it's been plagued by a lot of problems because it was supposed to come out last year
Yeah.
and it's not coming out until next year
Hmm.
because of all the issues that it had. Because I know, and like I said, I was reading and following up on it, and it had script rewrites, it had reshoots.
Yeah.
When it did its like pre-screening with people, they like said it was trash and really bad, and it was just like a lot of negative on it. So
Yeah.
hopefully they can get it together because new Captain America's fine. It'll be good. Hopefully it'll be good. Fingers crossed.
Yep.
So, all right. So I'll give you a review. The Boys season finale was this weekend. If you don't, everybody knows what The Boys is. The Amazon TV show, blood, guts, gore, hardcore sexual theme, very much, an adult show. And
Yep. The comics are great.
oh yeah, the show is great too, but it's great for a purpose. But the problem is, it is hitting so close to current events in the world right now. They actually had to change the name of the season finale because of current events, and they did a warning on the front of it because of what happened. But I mean, it's good, and you hate. I love shows that make you hate the bad guy. Don't
Hmm.
give me a bad guy that I want to feel bad for. I want a bad guy that I want to go, that is a piece of shit, and I want him dead. I want him
Joffrey.
dead like yesterday. Yeah, type thing. And this show does that. You want to
Oh, they
root
do.
for the bad guy. You want to root for the good guys. You want the good guys to win because the bad guys are shitty. And that happened in this one. This what is happening in the show is very much happening in our real life right now.
Yeah.
And if it was a different, type of mentality, or if there were supers, they're pretty much writing what's happening right now, and they're
Yeah.
following the comic and all that other stuff, of Homelander being, a dick and so on and so forth. But it hit a little too close to home the season finale, and I was like, holy shit, guys! I mean, what they did at the end of that
Oh
could
yeah.
happen
Was
for
really
us.
good. Was really good. But also the funny part is what I still love about the boys is that, because I know you're talking about the bad guys and everything else. I'm like, technically, like, depending how you view the boys, who's the bad guys is very dependent on how you view
Correct.
on it, which is still great. Like, no matter what, there still isn't a defined bad guys. All like most of them are all pieces of shit, no matter what.
You
But the
just root
question
for
is,
the one that really fits better into your moral values. Pretty much is what it
100%.
is.
100%. No, 100%.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it great, because there's no, we're going to define this as the bad guy and this is the good guy. No, it's all gray and you pick, it's all of clusterfuck.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that.
What's interesting is this has been its lowest rated season because people were saying this is just woke media and everything. And they're like, guys, they're showing you exactly the way you're acting.
But also, what's funny is, like, people keep saying this is just woke me. I'm like, have you guys not read the comic? This is like very close to how the comic was.
Yeah.
and we all loved it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Um,
Take care, Eric.
but
I got it.
It was really good. It was, even though it was issues, even though it hit really close to home, it was really good still,
yeah, it
and
was so good.
I enjoyed it. Can't wait. I think the next season is going to be the last season, which I'll be good for.
Yes,
Give me an
yes,
ending. I'm happy with it. So we'll get another ending to it. So
yeah. I don't think
uh,
we're gonna get comic ending, but I think we'll still get a good ending.
yeah, I don't know the comic ending, so it'd be interesting. You have to tell me what the comic ending is
Okay.
when it happens, because I know, like, whenever Watchmen came out, and the Watchmen ending, of course, was not the Watchmen ending in the movie. That was in the comic. So, but I'd be interesting to see what happens.
Okay.
So you have to tell me what the spoiler. We'll do it another time, but let me know what the
Yeah.
actual comic ending. Tell me what the difference between the two when it comes out.
Sure.
Mizzy?
Um, let's talk about our big one
Okay.
that we binged, or rather, I binged and you watched throughout the weeks. Acolyte.
So,
So
yeah, go ahead.
so we sat down last night after we got done with our Earthdawn game, and we binge watched the entire season of Acolyte. I
And
loved it. It was really good, guys. Like, I'm not the biggest Star Wars fan, right? But the story was there. It was solid Star Wars, but it gave you a fresh perspective of everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, it shows you more than just your typical side of the Jedi side.
Well, what was interesting is the reason why because I asked her and Erica to watch it, because there's been this big controversy that Alkalite is the shittiest Star Wars story out there that's ever been out there, and I was like, let me take two people that don't know Star Wars. They know of Star Wars, but they don't know the history and the lore, and like me.
yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
here,
We
watch
have
this and tell me what you do.
yeah.
Watch this and tell me what you think. And that was the whole purpose behind it, was to get a fresh view, and see if they liked it or not. And they liked it.
Yeah.
I
So
want
like,
more.
yeah. So like after watching it, because I definitely watched it initially just to enjoy it, and then watched it again just to nitpick.
Mhm.
On the first run, definitely enjoyed it, hands down. Like it was definitely a nice, fun watch. If you're there for the Star Wars, everything else. Second part through, like I was more. I still enjoyed it. There were definitely some things I wish was fixed, aka for someone who enjoys the actual story. There were definitely some things that were kind of questionable, but it didn't still stop me from enjoying the Acolyte. Like I'm not gonna say it's just trash. I'll never watch it again. If someone had it on, I'll watch it. Absolutely, won't have a complaint. It's not like me, forcing myself to watch episode 3 or anything like that. No, or 7, 8, 9. But it's definitely a decent story for what it presents.
Well, some people complain that they didn't portray the Jedi correctly because the Jedi did evil thing. They did something wrong. They're human.
Yeah,
Jedis have done wrong things before.
congratulations. Yeah, like how many Jedi turned into Sith?
Yeah.
Yeah, like being a Jedi does not make you perfect.
I
You
mean, ladies and gentlemen,
strive for
who's the number one person we talk about all the time? Darth Vader. I mean,
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Good.
The
bad,
Jedi
bad,
hid something
good.
from people. What do you think? They try to do good, but things happen.
yep.
They did spoil. Because here's a spoiler. So if you're not listening and you don't want to hear it, shut your off. But I'm going to talk about it because it was actually a pretty big thing. Um, Erica and Mizzy were watching it, and they were like, "Who was the creepy clawed guy with the weird face?" And they didn't know, and they didn't recognize the music and everything. And I had to tell them, who that character was, and they were like, "Oh." And I'm like, "Yeah, we're getting into combining old stories with new stories." And then, of course, the ending, Stinger, part of that. And they were like, "Well, how does this fit in?" And I was like, "Here it is. This character was technically,
Part
800,
of this.
900-year old whenever, we got him in the Star Wars universe. So in the original trilogy, and now we've got him here. So, there's they're combining things, and I did look. I'm gonna say the Manny, which we call Jason because he was in the good in the good place, is where we learned about his character.
His
He
acting,
he,
oh,
he was
chef's
amazing in this.
kiss.
He was great, and I read a few things about how they had to keep like so many NDAs and had to hide him and all this other stuff, and they wrote his part for him. They said
Yeah.
that if he wouldn't have taken this part, they would have wrote a whole different character type thing, which I thought was really really good. They did say that if they get renewed for season two, which I hope so because it was a good story,
It
uh,
was. It
Yeah,
was.
they're going to do more legendary characters and more characters from that timeline and add more things and
Which they should.
twist plot lines together type stuff, which I thought was great. I
Yeah.
was happy with that.
Yep.
So I thought I will still say the night episode with the showing of the Sith is still my favorite episode because
Yes.
we got a bad guy that killed and didn't give a shit.
Yep.
y'all.
That's what I want. When I watch a show and I want a bad guy, I don't want a bad guy I can feel sympathy for or a bad guy that I want to, him to, monologue and, I will kill you later, James Bond. No, I want a bad guy to go, yeah, I'm going to break your neck. I'm going to kill you. I, oh, you're a young kid. Don't give a fuck. You're in my way. I want
Yep.
a bad guy to be a bad guy.
I
And
did not cry, but I had feelings.
Youngling feelings. I mean, what?
Emotional damage, my dude.
uh, and I still think that's one of the best episodes I've seen of a Sith fighting and a Sith not giving a damn.
Yeah. Oh no, it was really good.
Uh-huh.
Very happy with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, Mizzy, what do you give the Acolyte since you've already seen it all?
I'm gonna give it a 1
Okay.
because there are things that I'm like, okay, meh. They might have done better type thing, but overall it's not bad at all. The acting is fabulous. Manny in particular, like, that's my dude.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
He got buff for this season.
When they revealed who his character was, I screamed at the TV because I was like, I got a feeling.
Yeah.
It was great. I loved it.
Zeke, what's your next one?
Well, actually, mine is more of a trailer as well. Because I was doing my best after the initial trailer came out. I was doing my best to stay away from all trailers because I wanted to be as surprised as possible. Someone ruined it for me. But we have the Deadpool and Wolverine movie, Deadpool 3, coming out this Friday.
Yep, which I'm going to go see because I'm off
Same
Friday.
here. Yep, same here. And I saw the new trailer and the people who are going to be in it, and I'm really mad that now that I know they're in it, but I'm super hyped. Like,
Yeah, I haven't seen the new trailer. I stayed away from it, and no one spoiled it for me.
I was specifically doing the same thing besides the first initial trailer, and now I'm mad that I saw it, but I am more hyped to see it now still. But I'm like, so it will be a very, very interesting thing to see. So I am beyond hyped for it.
Yeah, I'm hoping they don't fuck that. I mean,
If they
this is
fuck
probably
that
going
up,
to be
people will riot.
Yeah, this is going to be the one movie that'll probably get people into the theater.
Oh no, absolutely. And again, Ryan Reynolds has been very, very, very adamant about keeping things specific.
Yes.
So that's why again I was really mad that I saw the trailer and a whole bunch of people I had no clue was going to be in it, and then one person, there was one person revealed to me who wasn't in the trailer that was revealed later by someone, and I really was this close to punching them in the face for it, because I'm like, that is such a spoiler, and I'm really mad I know that now. But I am very hyped for this. So
a lot of people are very. I think this is going to be the first movie that actually gets people into the theater solidly and has a good, money making type thing.
Yep. So, but actual media, other forms of media, I have been I've been doing some reading, more likely kind of re-catching up on old lore, because I reread a lot of the paperback novels of War Machine.
Hmm.
Um, so I got done sitting down and rereading through a lot of them, and they're all still really good reads. The Butcher book is still the best one. It won a couple awards. Um, don't remember the name off the top of my head. Um, but reading through them, I miss Doug Seacat and a lot of the stuff he wrote back in the day, and there's some really good, solid reads for all of those. So, if anyone can find those books, definitely give them a read. They're very good, solid books without having to have any prior knowledge of the world around it. But yeah, they're very good reads. Um, Definitely give them probably one and a half. Pretty much, the more you know about the world, the better it gets. Um, but it's still a very good read either way.
Um, I did finish, I'm in starting Cobra Kai because this is the final season of Cobra Kai, but it's a split season, so we'll get
Yep.
part one and then part two. It's Netflix's new thing to do, to keep people, subscribed. I started that, so I'm just waiting. I'm just going to finish through that. It I'm glad it's ending because it feels like almost like a jump the shark type season. Hopefully
I heard
it
that.
yeah. So hopefully it goes through and it's done really well. But I did finish Viking Valhalla. Um, and I did not care for this season that much. I like the Viking series, and this is a continuation of Leaf. This is a spin-off of the original Vikings, and it's about Leif Erikson and stuff. And I just didn't care for it this much. It did not. It gets my 2.5 meh rating. I just wasn't into it as much.
So I have a question about another trailer. Did you watch the Gladiator trailer?
I
Because
did not watch the Gladiator 2 trailer.
yep,
Yeah, I did not because I'm not like really interested in that.
yeah, I was. So I mean, did you watch the original one?
Yeah, of course. Gladiator 1
Yeah,
was
yeah, yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, like as soon as I saw it, I thought it was just like a fan made thing until I watched it, and I was like, are you all fucking serious? Stop touching things that don't need sequels.
Yeah.
Doesn't need a sequel because we're getting a Shrek 5. Like, stop it. But that's another thing. But not only, and again, Denzel Washington's in it, and I love Denzel. You are one of my favorites. Don't get me wrong. Just burn it with fire. Like it didn't make me happy. The music selection was hip hop, and I'm like, stop it. Like the score for the first Gladiator was perfect.
Yep.
Like if you listened to it, you cried. No matter who you were, you cried. This is not what I want. No, you are taking this completely left field.
Yeah, what's
Nowhere near.
interesting is it was supposed to be made a few years back and it had
Right.
time traveling in it. Yeah. Originally the trailer was good. The
Rage
original
trigger.
the original plot theme was time traveling for Gladiator 2 and it got scrapped. And I was like, well, so when I saw a new trailer, I was like, I'm not going to watch that. Not right now. I'll wait till it comes out, but I'm not. I was like, you just leave it alone. Leave that story alone.
Leave it alone. Leave it alone. Like timeline wise, it's building up on the timeline, not so much with Gladiator, but like the era, like
Hmm.
Suzuki Zero, which that I don't have a problem with. It's literally just how it's portrayed and everything else. I'm like, I just call it a different name. Just stop it. Like, just leave it the fuck alone. For God's sake, just
Yeah.
leave it alone. Like, there's so many things. So this is literally how I look at it right now. Is we're in the era of nostalgia, and they're trying to play up the nostalgia as much as goddamn possible.
Yep.
And it there are times where it's very nice, us getting some callbacks and everything else. Don't get me wrong, but man, we are milking the crap out of this,
Yeah.
and it's like we just forgot how to come up with new ideas without having to just sequel a previous one, and that's where my annoyance is coming in from.
Yeah.
Like we don't need to keep redoing the whole thing. We can come up with a different spin, a different take on it. And just right now, I'm just done.
I agree with you. It's a problem because there are tons of unique and great stories out there. They just refuse to do it because they want to cash in on the name or the things. I'm like, no. Give me
Yeah, well,
something good.
they're trying to appease to our generation because we have the money now. So they want to get us as much as they possibly can. And I'm like, fuck you. You're expensive already. No, thank you.
Yeah.
Like, I canceled all my subscription services, most of them anyway. And I'm like, you guys are expensive. Like, you keep going up in price too.
Yeah.
I'm like, at this point, it's cable.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
So, guys, that is our show for the day. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you coming in and hanging out. We appreciate Zeke coming out and hanging out with us, talking about other games and such. We'll be back again next week. And, of course, Wednesday, we'll most likely have a stream. I should be plenty healthy enough to make sure and do that, do some more miniature building and socializing and such. So keep an eye on that. As always, if you hear something, say something. If you see something, say something. If you can, do something. Do something. If you can't, find somebody that will, because we got to take care of each other. From More Than Dice, I'm Gonzo.
I'm Captain Mizzy.
And I'm Black.
Thanks for listening to More Than Dice, making the world a better, nerdier place, one dumb joke at a time. Be sure to subscribe wherever you heard this podcast so you never miss a future episode. For more nerdy action or to connect with your hosts, check them out on Facebook.com/More Than Dice and Twitch.tv/more_than_dice. Until next time, stay nerdy, stay proud, and we'll see you soon on the More Than Dice podcast.